Does it ever worry you guys when every single person and every single institution in America is against you, and the only person you can look up to is Donald Trump?
That's not happening.
It's not.
You don't trust the FBI or the DOJ?
Are you kidding?
Ladies, this is a gotcha interview. They're trying to make you look like idiots.
It's pretty clear what we're doing here. We're having like an exchange of ideas.
I felt like I had a staunch liberal interviewing me.
Yeah, okay, we'll end it right here. But
So this Trump supporter stopped our debate, followed us around, and then told security we were harassing people. Watch what happens next.
So when it comes to election integrity, what is your strongest piece of evidence that the last election was stolen?
I did work the election.
Yeah, me too.
Iowa wasn't too bad, but when I went home and I watched the 2020 election, I was on Fox then. I'm not now, but I was then. I watched, and it wasn't the presidential race, and I saw the votes flip. I saw the votes flip from the Republican to the Democrat. So I saw it.
How confused do you think this lady gets by football games? Because she doesn't seem to understand how counting anything works. If I pause a football game during the first quarter, then come back to a different score during the fourth quarter, that doesn't mean the game was rigged.
That
You've
convinced
got
me.
video evidence too. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got suitcases being pulled out from under after all of the poll watchers left and feeding ballots in. I mean, it's just, and there's so much more.
So how do you guys react when Trump brought all of these cases to different courts across America, and every single court that he brought his evidence to rejected him? So he even brought that case where they pulled a suitcase out from under the table, and when they took that to the court, when they watched all 16 hours of that footage, they realized that the Democrat and the Republican poll workers, because you work the polls, right? You know how Democrats and Republicans have to combine and they have to work together. They realized that these were placed there this morning and they were completely legitimate ballots. And this happened with over 60 different court cases where you think you have this 10-second snippet and you think it's the evidence, but then you bring it in and it's not. So what is that? How do you reconcile that?
I don't know a whole lot about what they brought in court.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
It was kind of kept quiet.
Yeah.
Just know that everything was rejected. But I think a lot of the reason, at least what was reported, was that they didn't get to present the evidence.
Yeah.
Right,
That-
that's exactly what happened.
So this lady just stumbled her way into my least favorite talking point. Out of the 60 plus cases that Trump brought to court, 30 of them didn't even meet the standards to proceed with the court hearing. And the judge's job is to look at the evidence provided, not to investigate. And there was no evidence.
Sometimes my concern is that when everyone that was in Trump's cabinet, people like Mike Pence, people like Rudy Giuliani, they even said to him, there's not enough voter fraud to overturn the election. And then after the election, Trump brings us to courts, and all the courts reject him. They did look at the evidence. They looked at all the footage and all the evidence. So sometimes, do you ever keep an open mind to the election not being stolen?
That never even has occurred to me because I saw too much stuff.
So it's never occurred to you to keep an open mind?
No, it's never occurred to me that there wasn't a lot of hanky-panky going on.
Interesting.
That's what I believe.
Could
I think
you?
we keep an open mind. I mean, if we see the evidence that everything was on the up and up, well, then you can't argue with that.
How do I argue with the fact that there's hanky-panky on the up and up?
Well, also what they're accusing him of is trying to plant fake slates of electors in a few different states. So like Georgia, they're saying he tried to replace the real electors with fake electors. And then there's also a phone call that you can listen to of him calling Raffensperger, the Secretary of State.
The electors, that is a normal procedure. If you think that something is going to be proved, that there was riffraff in there, and it turns out the other way, you have to have electors in place ready to go if that should happen. That's all he did.
That is not all Trump did, and nothing about it was a normal procedure. Just look at the coup memos crafted by John Eastman, which laid out a roadmap for Mike Pence to throw out the results of the election. Donald Trump pressured Mike Pence into doing this, but Pence refused.
Do you guys trust Mike Pence at all? Even Mike Pence told them there's not enough evidence.
I don't trust Mike Pence.
You don't trust Mike Pence? Okay.
No.
Even his Attorney General, Bill Barr, who is his sword and shield, came out saying there's not enough evidence fraud. You don't trust Bill Barr?
No.
You don't trust the FBI or the DOJ?
Are you kidding?
Does it ever worry you guys when every single person and every single institution in America is against you, and the only person you can look up to is Donald Trump?
That's not happening. It's
not.
There are tons of you look at
Like
Trump
who else? Who, like
ratings.
Mike Lindell? Who else? I'm saying, who do you
You got Rudy. I mean,
Rudy Giuliani is.
I'm not keeping track of every elected official and whether they support Trump or not.
See, this is my problem. You look at Rudy Giuliani as a trusted source of information, but then when you have...
Let me tell you about Mike Pence. You say he's credible?
Yeah.
Okay, when he was governor in Indiana...
I'm from Indiana. I don't think he's always...
Yeah, so you know he flipped on the religious freedoms for business owners.
I get that. I'm no fan of Mike Pence, but in my view, what happened on January 6th, Donald Trump asked Mike Pence to stop the peaceful transfer of power, right? He asked him to not certify the results on January 6th.
He asked him to take the states that said that they think that there is a problem, they want time to check it out.
Right.
He asked him to give them time to check it out.
They did. This is after all of the court cases that were rejected
Before he
repeatedly.
certified, they didn't check out anything. He just went ahead and certified it, regardless of what corruption was being shown out there.
Ladies, this is a gotcha interview. They're trying to make you look like idiots.
We're having a real conversation about the election
It's not,
fraud.
It's very slanted. It's
very
not,
liberal.
It's not a neutral interview.
Yeah, but we're literally sitting here having an exchange of ideas, which is one of the best parts of America, is that two people from different sides can talk to each other and try to reach a middle ground. It's pretty clear what we're doing here. We're having like an exchange of ideas. I don't think I'm trying to get you.
It's pretty clear where you're coming from.
In an interview, when you want somebody's opinion, you listen to their opinion and then you don't give your opinion.
Well, that's not what we're doing here.
So you said you wanted to interview them, not debate them.
The point of our show is to find middle ground.
So the funny part is, we told them we were going to push back and try to find middle ground. We always prime people and say that we're going to provide pushback.
We're going to ask you what issues are important to you. We're going to try to find a middle ground and push back.
Giving them your thoughts and your feelings on the issues you just asked.
Because it's America.
But that's a debate. That's not an interview. An interview is I want your information. They agreed to answer questions on their thoughts.
We're going to try to find a middle ground and push back.
So we were actually having a really good conversation about Pence and the implications of election fraud. It wasn't really a gotcha interview. I don't know if...
Well, I mean, like, you were debating them. I heard the Rudy Giuliani gotcha that you tried on.
What did I say? What was the Rudy Giuliani gotcha?
And you trust Rudy Giuliani for true information?
I mean, do you trust Rudy Giuliani?
I get my information, my education from lots of sources.
Yeah. Do you want to talk to us?
I'm not going to debate you, but I'll answer some questions.
Was I being too like heated or anything? I thought we were having
a little bit, yeah.
You were pushing back pretty hard.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to. Yeah,
But
okay.
that's not what you told them you were going to do. You didn't say, hey, do you want to debate some issues with me? Do you guys want to?
I felt like I had a staunch liberal interviewing me.
You're the interviewer. You don't get to come at them in an interview with your biases and your opinions and throw that back
Well,
at
I'm the interviewer, so we can do it however we want to do. And when the point of our show is to find middle ground.
So I was asking these ladies questions in the most gentle way possible, just trying to guide them to my position. But MAGA is so soft and so insulated that if I even question the credibility of Rudy Giuliani, this lady takes personal offense, and watch how she follows us around from interview to interview, just stalking us.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate talking to you. You're gonna stand here like a poll watcher and just watch us?
I can. I have been a poll watcher.
You've been a poll watcher?
I'm supposed to, that's part of what I'm doing.
We have values that I feel like we've been moved away from those.
So this lady being a poll watcher doesn't surprise me. I'm sure she was a hall monitor in high school too. But after this interaction, a security guard came up to us and I remember exactly what he said. He was like, you guys aren't in any sort of trouble, but we've been getting reports that you're going around harassing people with your camera. And we knew immediately who these reports were from. We told the security guard, we can show you the footage. We're not harassing anyone. And thankfully, he was really cool. He wasn't a Trump supporter. He was definitely just some bro the campaign hired. But I guess next time I'll have to treat people 3 times my age like absolute infants because that's how MAGA needs to be treated.
Yeah, I'm sorry if we were attacking you. I thought we were trying to be nice. Yeah, I don't know. And thanks for breaking it up.